Hey guys, welcome back. So today we are going to create one more animation video where you can see here I have used grid view to show the images, but when I tap on this button, this grid view converts to single list view. So this is again not a list view, actually it's again a grid view only, but number of columns is 1 here. So that's why we have called this video as a custom grid view, where on top of this you are changing the grid view number of columns. So let's get started and see this how we can implement it. So before getting started, if you are new to my channel, make sure you subscribe here so that you can get more features like this in the future, and hopefully you will learn something new from this channel. So let's get started and create a new project. So here I am using Xcode beta, Xcode 12 beta. So make sure you are using that and above that version. Then make sure you select iOS here and app here. Then let's name our project as custom grid demo. Make sure the settings are like this and click next. Let's save it on our desktop. Okay, so first thing I have to do is I have to add images in my project. Since as you can see here we are showing different types of images, so let me add those images first. So I have some images on my desktop. I can use those images, or I can use different images also. Here I have some more images, let me add those. Okay, these images are actually different images. I need different images. Let me just check somewhere else. Okay, I have some images here, so let me add those. Let's add 10 images. Okay, so we have images. Let's start. So you can see these are just normal images with the name as file 1 to 10. So let's get started here. Okay, so first thing what we have to do is we have, as we know that we have to show some data in our app, so we need to have some data. Basically you will get this data from the API call, but for this demo purpose I will take this images which I have just added. So let's create one new file, and I will name this file as article, because we are going to display different type of articles. So let's call it as article model class, and this won't be a SwiftUI class, so let me just remove this code and write it again. So let's create a struct class first. Let's name it as article. It will be conforming to hashable because we are going to show it on our table view, or you can say grid view also, not table view. Okay, then inside this what data we are going to actually display here. So here you can see we have one image, then we have year, and we have ratings. So we need three things. So let's create that. So first I will create one image which will be of type string. Then I have year, so will be again type of string, and the last one is ratings, which will be of type double because it's an integer value, or double value means float value it could be. Okay, then below this I will create one static function which will return me the data. So here actually you will do a API call in the actual app. So let's start. Okay, and it should return me an array of article. Okay, now inside this let's return array, and this array will have nothing but our article data. So in this we want image, year, and ratings. So since our images name are like this, file space 1, so we'll use same here. So let me just add one image name file 1. Here we can say like 2005, and ratings you can give anything, so let's say 100 here. Now we need to just copy this for the rest of the data. So here I will take from 1 to 10, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 2 more, 9 and 10. This is 9 and this is 10. Okay, so now we have our data ready. You can change this also, but it's not necessary since it's a dummy data. So now we have our data ready. Now we can focus on the UI part. So let's create that. So now what we are going to do is we are going to create this one grid view. So currently you can see our grid view is of two types. One where we are showing two columns. That time the image is at the top and year and ratings are at the bottom, and in the second part again it's the same, but this time the width is getting increased. So let's see how we can handle that condition here. So we will design our main view at the last. First we'll create the main article view. So for that again you need to create a new file which will be of SwiftUI type. Let's call it as article view. Okay, then now we can start. Here inside this we need to create first a vstack. Then inside vstack you need to check multiple conditions and then you have to draw your view. So conditions will be depending on this what you select. So let's say that we are going to send actual article data from the main view to this view. So let's create this. Okay, and then inside this we need to check one condition. So for that I will create a binding property. This binding is nothing but from this main content view I will be sending one value here. So if I change that value here it should reflect there also. That's why I'm creating binding, which is two-way binding. Then inside this let's create columns. Columns will be nothing but grid item. So grid item is nothing but one item in your grid view. Okay, then here inside our main view we have to check the condition as if my column has number of columns or the count is 2, then we have to make one view, and if it is not 2 then we have to make other type of view, which is nothing but this. If it is 2 then we have to work on this type, and if it is not 2 then we have to work it for this. Okay, so let's work on that. So again inside this I will need one vstack, and inside vstack we will create our image. Our image will be nothing but this article which we have sent here from the main view. It's image. Then we need to add some modifiers on this. So let's add first is resizable, and we don't need this, so let's remove this. Okay, after this we need to add frame, and inside frame I need only height, so rest thing you can remove, and height I'm going to give as 250. Okay, then after this we will give some background color. Let's say color dot blue. Okay, and at the last we need to give corner radius, which will be of 20. Okay, so now what we have done is we are currently building our view for this type of view where we have added one image and we have added some corner radius also. Now we have image. Now we need to add these two text horizontally. So let's create X stack, and this V stack basically keeping image and those two things vertically. So that's why this V stack. Okay, so now let's start adding our text. So text will be nothing but again here we are giving one placeholder as year, and then using string interpolation we are going to display the article dot whatever the year we have received from the main view, and then below this I will add some spacer, and after this I will add again text. This time I need to use string with format because we will be receiving the double value also, so we need to format that. So that's why I'm using this. Here I will use %.0f, and after this article dot actual rating. So that's all about this. Then I need to add some padding to this view. Okay, so what we have done here is we have added this image view, then we have added these two views in the S stack, and in between we have added spacer so that it will push the views on the both the sides, both the ends, you can say. Okay, now we have done with the if. Then we can now focus on the else part. So in the else, again you need image. So let's create that image. Image is nothing but article dot image, and again on this also we need to use same modifier, that is resizable. And after resizable I need to pass the frame. So let's pass the frame, and this time for frame what I will do is, again I will use only height. So let me remove this. Height will be again same 250, and again we need to give background. So let's say background color dot blue, and again at the last we need to give corner radius as 20. Okay, so we have our data ready for the image. Now we need to give for text also. So for text what I will do is I will use vstack, because here you can see text is, both the text are in one line, so I need to use vstack. So let's create a vstack, and inside vstack I will use first text, which is nothing but again it's same year, and again I need to give here string interpolation article dot year. This is my text. Again I need to give a spacer in between, and at the last the second text, which is my again same string format with %.0f comma article dot ratings. Okay, so our view is ready. Again I need to give same here padding. Okay, so now we are done with the actual article view. So let me just close this also. So if else we have ready. Now let's focus on our main view where we will use it. So for the main view what I will do is, as you can see here in the the demo, that we have shown at the top one article button, article label, and this button to toggle between the two types of grid. So let's create this type of view first. So for that I will use first here a navigation view, since here at the top we have shown this name custom grid view. So for that we need navigation view at the top, and you need to give one title. So I will say navigation bar title. So currently it's not coming because we haven't added anything above here, so let's add that at the end. Let's start with this vstack, then inside vstack one hstack, and here we need to give our main text, which is here you can see articles, and we can give some font weight to this. So let's say font weight will be dot heavy. Okay, so now we have our this. Then I need to give some spacer to separate the views, and at the last I need this button. Again it will be like this, action and method. Okay, so then for the action I will do later. First let me create the button. Now here you can see we have added this title, and this button we are now adding, and in between we have added spacer to separate them. Let me just turn on the canvas so that you can see while building. Okay, so there is some call is missing here. Okay, we can remove this part, we don't need this. Okay, let me try again here and see. Okay, so now it succeeded. So what I will do is I will create this button now. So inside button, what we are going to do is we are going to show image. For image I am going to use system name, and system name will be depending on the number of columns. So here you can see, if one column then this image, if two columns then this image I have to show. So that is dependent on the column. So let's create our columns first. So I will create this as state private var, let's say columns equal to, it will be an array which will be having the repeating data, and for the repeating I need to pass a grid item, which is nothing but a single column for my grid view, which will be of type flexible. So if this is new for you, I will suggest you to go to my previous videos and understand this, how we are creating this grid view. It's pretty much easy. Then I also have to give some spacing. So I will give the spacing of, let's say, 15, and count will be 2. Okay, then here at the bottom I will create one namespace also, which will help me in the transition, this animation, which you can see that it will come back to its original position. This is because of this namespace. So let's create that namespace, I will call it. Okay, now we can create our image here depending on the number of columns. So I will say columns dot count, if it is equal to 2, then I will say show this image, which is rectangle dot grid dot 1 by 2. So this image name I have taken from the SF symbols. Then else I have to give different image, which is nothing but square dot grid dot 2 by 2. Okay, let me just check it if it is working fine or not. Build is succeeded, you can see it's running, and here you can see by my both the title and button is visible now. Since my column by default number of columns is 2, that's why it is showing me these 2 lines. Otherwise it will show me this 4. So let's start. We have our button ready. Let me add some padding. Okay, just a minute, let me just stop this. Okay, then now we can start. Let me add some font here, and I can pass my system size, which is, suppose I say I will give here 24. Okay, this is looking better. And then how about some padding we can give, so that it will come little bit inside. Okay, better now we have this. Now let me just add the action part. So here what I will do is I will check again condition, if my columns count is equal to 2, then I want to change the columns count. That's why I will remove the last one, so that the columns count will be converted from 2 to 1. But if my column count is already 1, then I need to add new column. So for that I will append, and what I have to append, I have to append a grid item, which is nothing but a grid cell, which will be again type of flexible. Let's remove this, and again we have to give some spacing of 15, and yeah, again here the total. Okay, fine. Then this is label. Okay, so now we have this ready. Let me just check it by running it. Okay, now you can see it's changing. So let's do one more part which is remaining, is finally showing the grid views. So for that I will use scroll view first, because we have to scroll the content like this. Then inside scroll view I will create a grid view using lazy suppose we have to use the grid, lazy v grid here, so let's take lazy v grid, and this grid we need to pass some columns. So I will say the columns which I have created, and we don't need anything else, so let me just write this again. Columns LUMNS, columns will be my columns. Okay, and inside this I have to pass the for each, and here I will use my main article which we have created at the very start. Inside this, all the articles which we have created here, this dummy data we are going to take and we are going to display here. And also we need to pass some id, so let's say it will take the id as .self, and now inside this we will get one article, so let's take that article in, and I will use the main article view which we have created, this one where we have checked the condition, both the condition if and else, and we have created article view. So let's use that here, and since we know that we have to pass one article and columns to this view, so let's pass that here. So you can see when I open the bracket, it will ask me to pass articles and column. Article we are getting here, so pass that here, and columns we have already defined at the top, so I have to pass columns here. And then now we have this ready. Let me just build it. Okay, there is some mistake here. Okay, we need to pass with $, since that is a bindable variable. Here you can see bindable property, that's why we need to specify $, here. And then let me add some padding also to our main views so that it will look better. And also we have to add the title for our view here. Let me just try again here. Okay, and I have to add navigation bar title, which will have basically title as custom grid view, and on display mode I have to give .inline, which will make it like this. It will be stick there, not a big navigation bar title. So let's try now. Okay, it's running, but I can't see the data here. Let me just run in actual simulator. Okay, somehow the data is not coming, so let me check what is our file names. It is file 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, and here we will also pass the same file, this. Okay, this is okay. Then let's check here. We have our image view, year ratings, image view, year ratings depending on the columns count. Okay, then let me check this. I have added a scroll view. Then we have used lazy grid, for which we have passed our columns, and also we have used for each loop with all the articles, and we have taken one article and that we have passed to the columns. Okay, and then we have given the title here. Okay, I think here I have done some mistake. Let me just check. Okay, yes, so this part should be inside here. So the modifiers hierarchy is very important, order is very important. If you write it wrong, then it will not work. So let's run it on the actual simulator and see. Okay, again it is not showing us. Let me just check the code once again. Columns count is 2, then we have to remove the last one. Okay, Okay, so here spacing we have given. Okay, let me just check this. Okay, so the mistake is we have added this scroll view outside. So let me add this inside the vstack. And now let me click resume. Okay, so now you can see the data is showing and it is also changing, but you can see there is no animation here. So let's do that part now. So we have created this namespace here. Now what we have to give is we have to give the geometry, matched geometry. So let me just come here once, and here we can give match geometry to our this vstacks. Let me say matched geometry. ID will be like, I will say my grid. You can give any ID there, and namespace which we have created. So okay, so we have not created the namespace here. Let me just write this again in the main view. Actually we have to do it here. So let me just do that part here where we are doing the articles part columns. Let me try it here. Matched. It's not getting detected here. So here we have created our lazy grid, and we need to pass that to article view, and here we have created our namespace. So let me just check it here. Okay, so we are creating our views here, so we should pass that here only. So I have to pass namespace for my vstack. Just check here, match geometry, and I will say this as grid, and this will be my namespace. I think I've created it here. Let me just add that to this view. Then I will use that namespace here, and same I will give this to my this vstack also. Now let's run and see. Okay, and the animation is not working here since we have the match geometry also. Let me just change this geometry to the actual image view and see how it works. Just remove this from the edge, our vstack. So again we have seen that the order of modifier is very important. Okay, let's try now. Okay, so there is some animation is happening, but again it's not that fluid. Let me check my content view. Here I have used the okay, so I have not given animation here, so let me add that. So here what you have to do is you have to tell with animation, and inside this you can add your data. Animation I will use dot agene, and let post our code here, and now let's run and see. I hope it will work this time. Then let's click here, and yes, now it's working fine. So now you can see our data is completely visible here and it's working fine. Okay, there is some crash since I'm using this very high resolution images. These are not getting loaded, so it looks like it's getting crashed. Because of that some frame issue is coming, but overall our main functionality is working, where we have to try this animation of changing the grid from this to this type of animation. So that's all about this video, guys. Hopefully you have liked this video and you have learned something new, and for the future videos like this, make sure you subscribe to my channel, and if you have any suggestions, please ask them in the comment section below. Thank you and bye.